Hello everyone, this is Kevin Bryant, aka Narlyteeth from Magic and Mirrors, and welcome to a brand new episode of Video Update. So as you can tell with the new backdrop behind me, one of the reasons why things are kind of, or we've been very quiet about development just lately is just because we've been moving around a lot, just trying to find a new place to kind of establish our studio, and so we can kind of get the groove back on, get back to work on Nelo and continue finishing the rest of the remaining content. I'm really liking our new office. It's over twice the size of our old office in Dallas, Texas, and we are really happy with the space. Feels great, feels comfortable. We're definitely advocates for making a work environment very cozy and feel very much at home. And we're practically living in this room most of the time. So I think it's very important to surround yourself with creativity. We put posters up everywhere. We have LED lights. We have our monitors, or a lot of cool things to surround ourselves with to keep us inspired and keep us working. So the first thing I want to show you guys is actually probably one of the coolest things that's going to be introduced in Act 2, and that's the space combat scenarios. This is when you play as Jamar, and he finds another area where the possible hive could be located, and in this particular mission, you get to pilot one of the starfighters. The space flight gameplay is not really shmup-like you might expect, but it's a little bit more inspired by like the Star Wars Rogue Squadron games, which is a bit more, I guess, realistic, but not quite too realistic, at least for a space scenario. But the controls still feel somewhat arcadey, but you can also have the ability to roll and have airplane-like controls, but then you can also have the kind of more arcade style flight controls, and you get like a minigun you can fire, and you can also fire some missiles, and you can fight large waves of bad guys. So just check out this footage right here. A little bit of a teaser, kind of how it looks, and we're still kind of figuring out the mood. We're getting a lot of the gameplay scenario or the gameplay mechanics from the your weapon systems, the enemy AI, your ally AI, and also just kind of integrating the larger ship's movements to work with the dialogue scripts and missions and everything that goes on. So this next clip we're going to show you guys is a bit of the Outskirts mission. This is actually one of the largest levels in the game so far, covering over 4 square miles of playable space. This mission is usually inspired by looking very overgrown with fossilized foliage, and we want it to look very kind of full of life, but also very barren at the same time, and also incredibly hostile. Again, it further enforces that iron jungle aesthetic that we established on the planet Plemniba, but this time we actually have jungle foliage, petrified, growing over the buildings and not temples, but structures. Again, like this level is pretty enormous and large, but it also gives players plenty of freedom to explore, move around, meet new enemies, also get introduced to some new gameplay scenarios as well, that you'll see later on, and we'll reveal it when it's ready. So another level that's going to be in Act 2 is the subsystem. It's an underground level. It's very dark, and we very much want this level to be full of nightmare fuels. This is actually one of the first levels to introduce the swimming system in Nelo, so you finally actually get to swim in not necessarily water, because the planet is drained of life, but you do find a very water-like liquid substance that your player gets to swim in, and you almost like move like a shark as you swim through the water. And you also get to encounter some really cool underwater enemies as you dive down into these dark depths, and also some pretty scary things. But again, like we want to have like a lot of exploration, just like many of the other levels. But this one has a very different tone than some of the other levels. So one more thing we want to show you guys is actually something that we've added to an existing weapon that can only be played in endurance mode at the moment, which is the swords. The swords can be unlocked by progressing in the endurance mode as you play in the game right now, but we add some new features to the swords. When you do unlock the swords, you might notice that you can slice up set dressing materials into little pieces using kind of the procedural geometry tools inside of Unreal. But we also now implemented the sword slicing to work on enemies, which is really exciting because you want to be able to slice the Nightsithe into bits. I mean, come on, you do. One thing that's kind of cool as far as the gameplay scenario, we're still kind of experimenting with this idea, but right now every time you slice a piece of the enemy off, it adds to your combo. Though if you again, just like if you do any kind of repetitive things to rack up your combos, it can drain your technique. But it's a really fast and easy way to rack up your combo to like X40 or even X50 for a very brief period of time. Just a really good rush for you. And but again, like this part is a little bit experimental as far as balancing goes. But we still want to play around with it and see how it works in practical gameplay. So I hope you like everything you see today so far. Again, it's just little snippets of progress. I know progress has slowed down a bit. We have been a bit quiet. We're sorry about that, but we are still working on this game. And I hope you understand the scenarios that we're in. And just be sure to stay tuned for more progress. Keep cheering us on. We're really trying here. Thank you.
The Nightsithe have no honor. All they have is gluttony and greed. We, however, do have honor. So fight with honor. Fight for tomorrow. And fight for the chance to fix our mistake. We will find the hive, and we will crush it!